everyone, welcome back to another Tam Tonight special episode, Fashion Focus, with my favorite co-host ever, Mr. Christian Garza. Yay! From House of Christian. We put it in the description below to follow him on social, his TikTok, subscribe to his channel here on YouTube, all of that stuff. So yes, the lovely Christian. Let's introduce. This week we're going to do London Fashion Week. So for our best and worst, and Christian is going to start off with one of his best. Who do you got for us?
Okay, so the first one I loved a lot was Molly Goddard. I just love this collection. It seems like a lot of fun, especially since, you know, hopefully coming out of pandemic, everybody will go into more events. She has her signature like whimsy and tulle, so it was a lot of fun.
Yes, Molly makes those really big frilly pieces, at least when her initial offering.
Yeah, and this one was really cool just because she also included the men, and it's like gender fluid. Some of them were just like dresses, and it was interesting to see them styled and include, you know, gender inclusive like styling.
Do you think that's going to be more of a thing? Because I have been seeing that as a trend on the runway, them mixing more of the menswear and women's wear together, not just having like so hard set exclusive shows.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, and a couple of them we're going to talk about it has like mixed in.
So I guess I should start off then with my sort of gender fluid menswear, but really anybody could wear it. I guess I should call this genderless clothing, right? It's just clothes for people.
Yeah. I think one of your people that you selected, like, he put it well. You talk about it.
It's Edward Crutchly. Now, I never heard of this person prior to this fashion week, like doing research for it. But his whole thing, and I'm going to read it so I don't mess it up.
The show notes came with the reading list, and it says, men in women's clothing, anti-theatricality, tough word, and effeminization by Laura Levine, and then Queer London by Matt Hallbrook. And then the show had a lot of like 18th century type themes. I really love like period dramas and stuff and dramatic costuming. I think that's probably like, to me, the most intricate fashion, because I know it takes a really long time. I know it's really hard. I know those fabrics are super expensive. So I really loved how Edward used all of those old things and those classic silhouettes and made it a little bit modern, and then added the element of gender fluidity in there. It was very cool. My favorite look from the show is this big green show-stopping dress with like the big bustle on the side and all of that. But really all the pieces were very cool.
That was really pretty. I liked how in his explanation of his notes that he, you know, talks about the sustainability and how, but also like with the garments and creating the textiles. And then another point was that how like the queerness and the queer scene used to be more substantial, like especially like in London, and how like it's less so now. And so like this collection like harkened back to, you know, queerness and celebrating it.
I feel like from all of like the research that I know, just little anecdotal things about London, it is like youth culture central. So it's kind of weird to feel like that queerness and like all of that fantastical element is not as popular now. I wonder what brought that about.
Yeah.
The stench of normality. All right. Who do you have next?
Okay, so my next one was Halpern. He did a collaboration with the ballet, and then he did, you know, his collection, which is semi-couture, and he just used a lot of embellishments, made it very feminine, and I just loved how he like made it whimsical. It was like play on volume and textures. There was like this one big dress. It was like almost Big Bird, but it's white and pink and fluffy. Obviously not wearable, but it was fun. It's like what fashion's about, you know, to dream.
Yes, so I almost picked this show, and I'm glad I didn't. I just love the fantastic element because for me, I agree, like fashion is supposed to be about a dream and like creating a world and setting your clothes in that. So it's not, at least for me, immediately supposed to pop out like, oh, I could wear that to lunch and I'm going to get that dress. And it's supposed to make you think. And this show really did that. I love the element of the ballet dancers as opposed to just models. No offense to models. But these clothes, I think, to really display them, they needed a lot of movement.
Oh, yeah, all the fluidity. You could just really see how the fabrics move. It was so good. So good.
It looked great. And especially on some of the pieces that had like fur or fringe or what have you, the movement in the shots really made it look better than it just would have looked still or somebody walking down the runway. So I like that a lot. Also, his casting was a little bit diverse. I believe I saw an Asian there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm seeing black people. I'm seeing brown people. I like it. Fashion, I want them to do less forced with including other people than white people and more like this, more just natural.
Yeah.
So great job, Halpern.
Who's your next one?
This one is like an Instagram famous brand. So I feel like any people, even if you don't know about fashion, you have seen some items from this collection. Now, it was formerly called Charlotte Knowles London. And I believe recently, I don't know when, all of a sudden they changed their name to just Knowles and not even spelled out Knwls. Maybe Beyonce owns the last name Knowles. Maybe she owns the trademark. I don't know. And it even says, like, the Hadids wear this a lot. Bella Hadid wore this on the red carpet, I think, VMAs. You'll see Lori Harvey, if you're familiar with her on Instagram. She's worn this brand. The Kardashian Jenners love the brand as well. And it just, I don't know, it mixes, like, that club look of like corsets and very tight body conscious clothing with really, really great fabric. Interesting prints that you probably wouldn't see the girls try had it been presented in another way. And like, I don't want to say old, but you know, tried and true fabrics like gingham and all this stuff. That really you would not typically see used in like to make a mini skirt. But he does it and it looks cool. And I think it gives like a fresh elevated look to it instead of it looking like cheap club clothes. This is what the rich girls are wearing out to the club. And I really, really like that. All the lace up details and stuff. I'm here for it. It's like rock star girlfriend clothes.
I like this one a lot. This is the Western one, right? The Western prints. Yeah. And I thought it didn't look, you know, like costumey or gimmicky. It was well done. And still, of course, you know, it's like sexy. It's just like melding the two.
Mm-hmm. The show was a little bit weird because it was so dark. And it was like, I had to wait for them to come into the light to see what they had on. But I guess that was for aesthetic purposes. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it looked cool. I like all of it. I would wear probably, you know, 90% of the clothes. Maybe not styled the same way.
Oh, yeah.
But just, I like them. They're all very wearable. Great job. Yes. What is your next show?
So the next one I had picked was Erdem. I just like the fabrications of everything. It seemed really like sumptuous and lavish. Everything was a bit demure, like the colors and, well, I guess even also the fabrication, but the embellishment is what made it pop, what made it like that lavish note. He had dresses that were paired with brogues, and so it was kind of, you know, like that elevated dress paired with these, you know, simple shoes, just nothing too stuffy. And I thought it was kind of like Valentino-like, but, you know, brought down, just like a little bit more tame.
Yes, I don't know what time period this would be considered, but these also look like movie clothes, like old Hollywood kind of, especially the lady with the blue that had the hat on. Yeah. That is like a park hat, like maybe she has a parasol as well.
Yeah, it's about 1950s couture.
Okay, it looks very cool. Yeah. I do see the Valentino, you know, influence.
Yes.
With the lace and all of that. I also like your note of the diverse casting on this show too. This show was very diverse.
I didn't notice it until like afterwards how you said about your other show. It's just like, oh yeah, this just seemed natural.
Yes. We need all of God's children represented on the runway. Thank you.
Who is your next one?
My next one is, it's called Labrum. Now, also, I'm not familiar with this brand. This is my first time seeing it. And sadly, maybe there's a hint of racism, I don't know. But this was the only show out of all of the shows that I was watching and looking at that wasn't on Vogue Runway. So Vogue, help me understand why the show that's put on by, you know, Caribbean and African immigrants, which is a large population in London, and they, you know, represent a large percent of like why it's diverse and the flavors and colors of the city, the music and all that. How come this wasn't on your show, Vogue? I don't understand. I had to go to hypebeast.com to see the full show. Whatever. This person is from, it says like the tagline for the show was designed by immigrants. And I guess the person that's specifically in charge is Sierra Leone. So a lot of the fabrics that were printed and things like that, they're more of Sierra Leone, West African look. But I like it how it was not kitsch or costumey. This looks like you could wear all this in everyday life. The use of color was great. The headpieces were great. I like how they, again, mixed in the women's wear with the men's. I really feel like all of these clothes could be worn by me or or a guy, you know, up to your stylish choice of how you want to do it. But the colors and the prints and the tailoring is what really stood out to me, and they look very great. The suit bottoms are kind of baggy, but I feel like that's in right now with the whole 90s, 2000 thing coming back. Everybody's doing the tight top with the baggy pants. So I'm here for it. I really like it, and I hope to see more of the diaspora represented on the runway. So African themes and cultural themes don't, you know, come off as a theme. This is just a part of the world. This is how people dress on a whole swath of the planet. So why does it have to be like, oh, this is our Africa collection? Look at this. Yeah, so I want to see the Black Brits represented more on the runway, because I know you guys have talent, you have style. I see your street style all over the internet, so I would love, I don't know, fashion takes a lot of money. So it's kind of hard for me to badger the young and, you know, the people of diverse backgrounds to get into fashion, because I know you need a big old check, or you need an old rich man to help you.
Or an OnlyFans.
But go and find one. Get yourself a sugar daddy and get those clothes on the runway. We want to see them. What is your next collection?
Mine is Simone Rocha. She was inspired because, well, actually two of the designers that I selected, Molly Goddard and Simone Rocha, they had just had children. And so they were both kind of inspired of like children to wear and, you know, conceiving this being. And so Simone, she thought of it in as like ceremonial gowns, like baptisms and communion, and just kind of like blowing up the proportions and thinking of them for adults. This collection, it was, you know, a play with extra like texture. She had something about the like edginess and romanticism. It kind of gave me like kind of Vivienne Westwood or McQueen back in the day. It was really expressive and fashionable, but I feel like most people aren't going to wear it like this. And really there were like so many different pieces that really you would tailor it down.
Oh, because of like the bubble nature of so many of the pieces.
Yeah. And then you would see, of course you see it, and it's just like a lot of things to take in because they're just styled so like sumptuously. But then you would take the cardigan and you'd pair it with something else, just like, of course how they wear it is just for the fashion show, but you can edit it.
Simone Rocha, to me, she's always very, very feminine and girly. Almost to the point of, it's very interesting that you brought up that she, you know, recently had a child. Because that's what I would think. If I was a rich lady and I was pregnant, that her brand would be what I wanted to wear. Because I feel like it would represent me, you know, in my motherhood, ethereal, you know, whimsical nature, and then not being too showy with the body. Like even this see-through purple that she has in the show. I recently saw the pregnant Kylie Jenner wearing a see-through Chantilly lace number. Probably pull that off if you're pregnant, if you still want to look sexy for whatever reason. You know, you're already pregnant. Maybe just slow down. But hey, a lot of these pieces are very cute, very feminine. And I do see your point about wearability. And just one of these looks is like 3 outfits. So you can just take it apart and wear it. You know, you have clothes for the whole week.
But everything about the collection I loved. It was like dreaming. Like just, this is what fashion is supposed to be like.
Yes. My last show is, I don't know how to say her name, but I'm going to do my best. Nincy Dojaka. She recently won the LVMH prize for like the new up and coming fashion designers. She is like more than viral on the internet. Again, the Hadids, the Jenners, the Kardashians, all of your it girl influencers have worn this brand before she started to show on the runway. So I don't know if it was like independent type of thing, you know, where she's making these things and just putting them out and then commanding these high prices due to the fabric that she was making, and it drew in the rich girls. But her clothes are very revealing, but still like kind of girly and feminine. People are calling this the new feminine because it's like, oh yeah, we're going to show our nipple and we're going to wear sheer and very short, but it's going to have like flower details. Or if we're going to wear a men's suit, we're going to wear like a sheer bra or something under there. So I like that a lot. Sometimes it can get a little bland. Like, a lot of her looks or like her dresses are variations of the same dress or the same item, but maybe she'll grow with time. I know the newer brands, it's hard to keep like your customer and all that engaged, so you don't just want to come out of the box with something all the way different. I get that. But I want her to explore this new femininity a little bit more to give us more variety. Because I'm not just going to the club or on dates. I need clothes for the other parts of my life. But hey, maybe she's not that girl. And I don't know, as you have more education in the fashion design, I'm more marketing, maybe you can speak to that as far as how far variety you need to go. But I mean, you have a suit here.
I do like it whenever she's had like, you know, the I guess that's like a bra top, and that's paired under the suit, and it's all the same color. It looks really good, but obviously it's not going to be styled like that. What is a woman actually going to wear that top with? Especially since it's probably not like swimwear.
No, and that's the other thing too. It is, at least in the pictures and the videos, it does come off like it's very thin and very flimsy too. So I don't even know if a girl that has, I'm not trying to be disrespectful here, a girl that has bigger boobs or like real boobs can wear that and it will secure what she needs to secure under that suit jacket.
Oh yeah, I feel like this is one of the trends from the early 2000s that I hated, just because it just seemed like everything was tied together with a thread and just like things are going to pop out.
Yes. Like these are not the clothes that you go out to dance in. No, you need to sit still in these clothes. But they're very cute and you'll look girly. These are, I guess, more so to be photographed.
They look great.
They look great. You feel super sexy in it, but don't move around a lot. You're gonna be viral for the wrong reasons. But I really do love the show and I want to see her growth. She's being carried in a lot of the I don't know, the cool girl shops, the Webster, different shops online. So we'll see how her brand goes over time. But this is one to watch.
And so we also, I think you as well, have our least favorite ones. And so I'll do my first one. And it's J.W. Anderson. He had a presentation. He did it with Jürgen Teller. And I don't know why he let them have they did a lookbook. And so he let Jürgen, hang around in his underwear and take pictures of themselves. I don't want to see this man in his underwear. I'm sure most of their customers don't either. But anyway, so his images are interjected within this lookbook. The clothing, it just looks really simple in the worst way. It all looks like afterthoughts, and it's just simple, oh, let me drape this column around this girl and sew it together. It just looks like afterthoughts.
This makes me sad because J.W. Anderson has always been the nice clothes, What happened here? And Jürgen Teller.
And then, he's also at Loewe, and then all the clothes and, accessories there are just so, elevated. And this is just, it's also photographed in what could be, a tire, garbage yard. And it looks like garbage.
That's why I don't like Jürgen Teller. And I don't know who he is or how he got to be the new, what was that other guy that used to take all the pictures with Terry Richardson? I don't know how Jürgen Teller
Yes.
I guess so. Terry Richardson was out here creeping on people, so Jürgen Teller got his jobs. But Jürgen Teller, his message or I just hate it. I mean, he has people standing outside, just on the side of the road, photographing people sitting in plastic chairs. I don't like it. And then to have fashion in a tire yard.
Didn't he do the Marc Jacobs campaign with Victoria Beckham was in a bag? I think so. I'll have to double check.
It's like you said, it's plain in the worst way. It's simple in the worst way. Come on now. And then for the prices that you want for these clothes, for you to have taken them next to literal trash, I don't understand what you're trying to do here.
And I think it's a dress, but it just looks like, a butcher's apron.
Yeah. I don't like for the clothes to look like I made them. I want it to look like maybe I could make it. I could bootleg it or something, if I'm a baller on a budget. But it shouldn't look like I made this on the way to the photo shoot. Oh shit, I got that J.W. Anderson contract. Let me hurry up and whip something together.
Yeah.
What happened here? I don't know.
Who is your worst?
It makes me sad to have to say this because I really, really like this brand as far as what they had online for sale prior to them showing at Fashion Week. Now, I've never seen them show before. Maybe I'm late. I don't know. But I've known about this brand for about a year. It's called Supriya Lee. And she makes very feminine, almost the same as Dojaka clothes. Lace, see-through, silks, different things. Feminine, sexy clothes. But this runway offering was maybe it was all over the place. There was swimwear, there was fishnet, and not stockings, but the net that you wear over yourself as a cover-up. Didn't like that. The pants and the styling sometimes seemed a little bit confused. I don't know where we're going or where we would wear that. And then overall, although there were maybe 5-6 pieces, I'm oh yeah, I could wear that, or that's cute. It just looks like clothes that I could get from the mall, from various stores, from H&M, Pretty Little Thing. Maybe I'll go to Nordstrom for the leather piece. And I could just put this together out of clothes that already exist. So I don't know what her message is or what the brand identity is or any of that. because this is odd. And I'm noticing a lot of the brands are like infusing or sprinkling in swimwear for whatever reason. Maybe they just want that money. But it doesn't come off, for me, mixed in with regular clothes. Like, I don't know where to place you.
She was, yeah, like how you said, she was similar to your last designer that you selected. And there's quite a few people that are doing the same thing. I wonder how eventually, you know, somebody's going to copy
they'll meet each other. As a child of the 90s, right? I think this is like that early 2000s where it was like Paris Hilton was dominating and we wanted to dress feminine, but we were being slutty. Like we were wearing the cutest pink, you know, floral prints, but it was in the shortest skirt possible. You know, little spaghetti strapped dresses and things like that. Very simple. I think that's what this is trying to be, mixing in a little bit of space elements, I guess. But it's just, I don't know. And maybe the styling too made it look a little bit worse than it really is, but I don't know. It makes it hard for me to place these clothes where they should be worn. What story you're trying to tell. I see no story here.
I just based off of that, I just totally remembered that there was another one that I thought, it was like a mixed bag. And so it kind of like, it's on my hopeful, but like, you know.
Who is
That's David Coma.
Okay.
Did you see that one?
Yes, David Coma. David Coma had a lot of highs and he had some lows.
There was a bunch of stuff and it's like, oh yeah, that looks super sexy and looks great. Like the only person I know who could wear that and pull it off is probably like Miley Cyrus. Mm-hmm. And there were some other garments in there. He played with, so like first the runway show was in a, I guess, a natatorium aquarium.
Yeah. It was a pool. It was a pool and I was confused. Like, wait, are they walking on water?
And so it was on top, but also some of the garments had feathers and like, well, you know, that was dangerous because like, what if the feathers got on the water and just like, it kind of ruined the presentation of the whole like show, but luckily it didn't happen. I just didn't know like, who was the girl or like who's the customer. And some of the items I was like, what does this remind me of? And I Googled a picture and it's probably Dr. Seuss. And I'll show you some pictures.
I know what you're talking about, the blue marabou fur.
Yes. There were some cute items, but
there were some cute items. Also, the pool thing really threw me off. Like once I started to pay, and then it was like, once I noticed the setting, it's all I could see. And I'm like, why are they stepping in water? And with those type of shoes, like, is this dangerous? Someone gonna fall? With the presentation of the like knee highs, initially I thought that they were boots, but then as more people kept coming out, I realized they were socks. Yes. And that seemed weird too for spring summer. Like, why are we wearing thigh highs in spring summer? I love an Ariana Grande moment.
Global warming.
Yeah. Yes, like it's hot as fuck. And then the marabou on the thigh of the one girl with the whole black. That was confusing. Like, it looks cool visually. But like you're saying, who could wear that besides Miley Cyrus? Like, very briefly, too. Because
yes. And that's my last battle.
Yeah, okay. David Coma, you have something. You just got to figure out what it is, where you want to be. There were also a lot of looks in his show, too. So, maybe that's what made it a little bit harder. Overall, what is your synopsis of this London Fashion Week?
I feel like everybody, all the big names, Burberry shows late. And, you know, most of the other ones, McQueen showed in Paris. So, like, who are the big names for London Fashion Week? But luckily, it gives a chance for all these, like, up-and-coming designers to shine. Yes,
they were mostly all new designers at this Fashion Week. Like, as I was scrolling through, it was, like, not a lot of recognizable names at all. David Coma was probably one of the biggest. I'm still kind of confused about how fashion is working right now. Like, are we going out? Because I don't know what we're getting dressed for, given the state of the world. So maybe like a lot of designers are just shaking that quarantine dust off and they're trying to figure out even where we as a society are going so they can figure out how to dress us for these occasions.
I agree.
I don't know. Are you excited for Milan Fashion Week? That's our next one.
There's a lot to cover. You know, Versace, Fendi.
We'll see.
There have been some interesting developments, but thank you all for hanging out with us today. Like I said before, follow Christian on all the socials. We'll put his face up here in the middle of us again. And let us know if there's anything else you would like us to review. Up-and-coming fashion people, if you have a show or something, you want to send it to us, you want to send us your lookbook, we'll discuss your clothes, you know, as unbiased as we can. And I don't know, yeah, follow Christian on
Don't
TikTok.
forget to like this video and
Yes,
follow
like-
Tamberlin.
Yes, like
Follow
this video.
Tamberlin.
Yeah, like me, follow me. And if you're in the, where do you live, Christian? Dallas? Austin?
Dallas.
Okay, if you're in the Dallas area, hire Christian for your photography needs. He's an excellent photographer. And you should book him. Watch his quinceañera content up. I'm going to put it under here. It was very cute. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.